Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Comrade Detective, Season 1, Episode 1. It's called The Invisible Hand, and this is, of course, a first episode, so we will start spoiler free. We will warn you, should we wish to go into spoilers, and you'll be warned before we dive into like major plot details that you don't want to know about. But otherwise, we're going to get into this, and what is Comrade Detective? That is a very, very good question.
Yes, and a less straightforward answer than you might imagine.
Comrade Detective is a TV show that is made to emulate an imported Romanian TV show from the 1980s that is badly dubbed with American actors. Intentionally, it was shot this way, and like
Yes.
it's not really Romanian. It's just they did it to feel Romanian, and then they dubbed. And the voices, of course, are pretty notable actors. Channing Tatum and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are the main two characters. Nick Offerman's got a sort of recurring role, and then there's lots of cameos from other people as well, which we were not expecting.
Yeah.
Kim Basinger's in here. Daniel Craig apparently pops up in an episode. He's not in this first one, but you know, it's quite a
Stacked
list.
cast.
Yeah, but I guess like calling someone in to like do an hour in a booth, some sound work's quite an easy
It's cheaper,
task.
isn't it?
Yeah, hell, I bet some of these people even just have a sound booth at home. They just literally phone it in.
That's the dream.
Well, not a lot of voice actors do, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of these,
Yeah. The voice actors, sure.
yeah, because that's their whole thing. Jake Johnson's in here. I just noticed his name off the corner of my eye. So yeah, there's a lot of names in here, and I wasn't sure what to expect really from this. We saw the trailer; it looked like fun, but I wasn't sure like is this going to be like a just an all-out comedy where it's just constantly doing funny stuff? And I don't actually think it is.
No, it's satirical.
It's satirical and there is some funny stuff, but I'm actually kind of surprised at how kind of serious it was taking itself.
Yeah, it plays like an actual cop drama.
Yeah, from the 80s. So some of it's silly, but it's silly in the same way that they would have done it seriously in the 80s.
Right.
Well, obviously some stuff's heightened a little bit. Don't get me wrong. There's some stuff like that, but it's
It wouldn't be that out of place in the 80s.
no, no. And I think my first thought is, yeah, I mean, I'd enjoy it. Like, right away, the cheesy music over the opening titles was, like, enough for me. Like, it did that thing that used to get in the 70s and 80s a lot where it freeze frames on each title
Yeah.
as the character's walking around. Like,
It was
there's fun
some
stuff
some
like that.
great opening music. I'm like, I'm digging it.
And I'm like, okay, how's this whole dubbing thing going to work? And at first it's a little bit weird, but you do kind of get used to it. You kind of gel into it.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised, but I actually like the plot, which I was not expecting.
I know. I'm kind of getting like I'm intrigued.
Like, the whole thing is that, and this is not a spoiler, this is the setup, but, like, what's his face? Gregor, that's Channing Tatum's character. His partner at the start, they go to do a bust, and his partner gets killed by someone in a mask, a mysterious killer. And obviously, the show then becomes about him and his new partner, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, whose name is Yosef, and they team up. They're kind of unlikely allies. They don't really like each other at first, especially Gregor. He's a bit of a dick towards him, and they try and investigate who killed their partner, and that's the show. And there's a lot of conspiracy stuff. There's a lot of fun reversals of like 80s cop dramas where they flip it because it's in the East. So you have one small example is someone at a casino says they always bet red instead of black. Just some simple little things like that. The fact that they all watch chess as if that's their sport.
Yeah.
Like
It really plays into the whole like this is height of communism,
yeah,
and it's kind of playing into capitalism is evil. It's kind of presented as propaganda.
yeah. In fact, the cop yelling at someone, "Oh, you're just capitalist scum," but actually really cracked me up. Like, it's,
Yeah,
so
and to be fair, in that sense, it does feel like stuff from the 80s, American stuff from the 80s, which was anti-communist, and like it kind of highlights how easy it is to demonize the opposition to raise your own morals.
this is the weird thing. Despite how silly the idea is that it actually makes some points, but with its satire. Like
Yeah.
it's actually making some points, and I know the reviewers who got the season early talked about how there's actually some quite poignant like moments if you're reading them the right way
Mm.
as the season goes on. So I'm looking forward to like maybe seeing how some of that plays into it. But no, I thought it was good fun. I actually like the plot. I'm curious as to who the killer is, what this conspiracy is.
That's it. That was the worry going in. Will this be able to sustain itself beyond just the sketch like premise?
Yeah, because you can imagine this being a 5 minute skit, and that would be it, and that'd be
Right.
fine.
But it actually has a plot there to sustain interest as well, which is kind of a miracle that I just wasn't expecting for some reason.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. And it's only 6 episodes the first season. They all went up, so it's like okay, right. So I'm curious to see how tight it is, and I think it's pretty clear we want to watch more of this. I want
Yeah.
to watch more of this.
Honestly, as I said, got to that opening like music, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm down for this."
It's cheesy by today's standards, but it's done as if it's been taken dead serious in 1984.
Yes.
If that makes any sense, and it's kind of working for me. But of course, you've got all this insane dubbing as well, and all this Soviet propaganda, all these things. It's good stuff. In fact, it's worth mentioning that there's an introduction from Channing Tatum, and I think the showrunner. I didn't quite catch his name.
I can't remember it now.
But they're basically just sitting and saying, "Oh, welcome, and we want to welcome you to this screening of this lost Soviet drama that we wanted to show you." And they actually bring up the American versions of this, like, oh, like Rocky Four, like Red Heat. Like, this is a Soviet propaganda film to show how great Soviet is and how evil the Americans is. And it's just it's playing with all these ideas, and it's pretty
It's a
fun.
fantastic idea at its core. By presenting it that way, it's like just in case you weren't in on the joke,
Yeah.
it's going, look, that's what this is. Be aware of that, and then you can experience it how it's supposed to be.
Are you disappointed that it wasn't the thing from the trailer where Channing Tatum gets the tape in the mail and he's like crying as he watches it?
I am a little bit, but that's still in continuity. This scene at the start of this is just after the trailer.
Okay.
That's where he first gets. He's like, it's here, and we can do this. And then this is right. We've finished the product. Let's show it.
Okay. I will I will happily buy that. The episodes are all about 40 minutes long, which is actually a little bit longer than I was expecting. But honestly, it sustained it pretty well because, like we say, we weren't expecting an actual plot, and actually, it does have a plot. It does get in.
Yeah, it feels like a 40-minute cop drama.
Because I think going in, I was expecting like standalone plots per episode.
Yeah, me too.
Just to present for the funny moments, but because it's doing this serialized thing where we have this ongoing mystery, it's like, oh, who is the killer, and do the Americans have something to do with it? Are the Americans the villains? And they probably are. In fact, one of my favourite little touches is when it cut to the American embassy, and it's just, it's the flag outside the building, so you know where it is, and the music's all evil and sinister. It's like, oh, here's the villain's lair.
Do you know what? I love the music. It plays like a late 70s, early 80s cop show. Like in terms of, it has all the beats, as the certain things when they enter and exit buildings. Like you mentioned the villainous piece there. Like there's certain things that TV of that time did, especially in cop shows.
A lot of hi-hat action on the drums, I think.
Yeah.
I just the tapping of the cymbal. I think of that with these sort of, especially when they're chasing people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. So no, so we'll obviously we like it. We're going to watch more of it. I think we'll give a spoiler warning here, just so we can maybe talk about a couple of plot details and where things go. So. I really liked how they handled the opening murder, because I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it when they're driving there and they're just sort of like talking about stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't know, and they get to the drug dealers and they go to bust them, but it's when he chases what he thinks the killer is upstairs, and then he gets up there, and also when his partner gets shot and it almost freeze frames like mid jump for a second. And then goes down, like those little touches. But it's when he gets up and it's like, your partner's dead, or watch him die, or something like that. And he picks up the binoculars and he's down there, look with the mask on, the Reagan mask, yeah. And he he kills his partner. And I thought that was actually kind of creepy. Like, I'm into this. Who's this killer?
This was orchestrated.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm really curious. So, I like that. Obviously, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is a friend of the detective who died, and Nikita was his name. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character gets paired up with Gregor, and they are forcibly working together and investigating things. And it leads them to the U.S. Embassy because they're looking for a make of jeans that someone saw.
But they don't know it's jeans at that point. They just know
They don't, yeah.
the word.
Yeah, and it's the ambassador's secretary like sort of is wearing some of these jeans and like shows them off. Yeah. But you get the whole sense that this ambassador's shady. In fact, she has one of my favourite, and I am convinced this is a reference to Lethal Weapon 2. Have you ever seen Lethal Weapon 2?
I have, yes.
Yes. Do you not remember? Diplomatic immunity!
I do.
You remember that? Okay. Yes. Yeah. That phrase was uttered like 3 times in this episode.
It was. It was great because as soon as she says, 2 words, I'm like, I know where this is going to be.
Yeah. It's like I don't care that you've cast a woman to do this voice over her face. All I can hear is the guy from Lethal Weapon 2 going, diplomatic immunity!
Yeah.
But in a more of a South African accent, because I can't really quite nail it. That just came out as more of an English thing, but... yeah.
It did, yeah.
To be fair, South African is like half English, half Australian. It meets in the middle.
It's backwards New Zealand.
I prefer my analogy, but we'll go on.
Yeah.
So fun stuff, and then it all leads to them trying to get some information. Like they follow the ambassador to this casino / nightclub. It's a bit of both. There's like some gambling going on.
Yeah. It's just an underground casino, isn't it? Like.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it's all off. But that was actually one of my favourite things, just to go back to the whole communism sort of difference here, is that when they're arresting the drug dealers at the start, and they're like, why are you doing this? For money. What, the state doesn't give you enough? You get food, you get a roof, you get... like,
yeah, what more do you want?
Yeah. So it's just funny. Especially when they say, this is not right. There's no corrupt cops in all of Romania. We're too good for that. We are Soviets.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, you're selling drugs in this neighborhood. What do you want this to turn into, Detroit?"
It keeps on bringing them out though.
It does,
and it doesn't stop, and it doesn't stop being funny though.
And not at least not yet. I mean, maybe
it will.
Maybe
yeah.
eventually. But if they keep like bringing up new, because we did the partner getting shot like as a classic cop movie cliche, and I can see he's getting a few more of them. And it's like I think that's how they'll maybe keep this entertaining. Where episode 2 will maybe have another big cliche as the centerpiece, and we can sort of
I hope so.
Fall out from there and so on. So they follow the ambassador, and Gregor actually ends up dancing with her, and they have this kind of. It was almost like the hero-villain flirtatious thing where they kind of meet in the middle, and they have the friendly banter, but they know that both of them are trying to like size each other up at the same time. But the man with the mask was in her car afterwards.
Yeah, and seemed to be controlling her. Like she didn't seem to be going along willingly.
Yeah, because in fact the final shot is the car drives away and the mask is just left there and the rain's pouring down on it. It's a really nice shot, actually.
It is.
They did some good work there. There's another guy there that they chase after and they beat up because he's got information potentially, and that's kind of it. And it leads to some fun stuff because Gregor gets knocked out actually by this guy, and then like Joseph is like chasing after him and hanging off the back of the car again. Like,
it's fun. Again, it's like the over the top fun 80s cop shows.
Do you know what it feels like actually? Or at least, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but it feels like it's mostly practical effects. Like it felt like there was a stunt work going on there rather than CG.
Yeah, no, definitely felt like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it'd be that hard to do. I mean, it didn't look like it was going that fast.
Also, props to the cinematographer and potentially the set designer. Like, because I don't know where they shot this. They may have actually just shot this in Romania, which would have made it at least a little bit easier.
I think they must have done, just because.
But even then, they still have to like make it look like the 80s, and they still have to make the visuals of the camera and the lighting look like that time period. And it does legitimately, along the fact that the quality's too high, it does actually look like it's shot in the 80s in that type of part of the world. I mean, I would never be able to know if it looks like Romania. I've never been to Romania, but it looks like
you have an image of Eastern Europe in your head, don't you?
Yeah, it at least fits into that kind of idea of that area of the world in my head.
Yeah.
So, but no, it looks convincing. Like he walks out in the costume department as well, because as soon as he walks out in that leather jacket, you feel like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing about it feels phony in that sense, which is kind of
No,
funny.
I think it's impressive, like I say, how genuine it feels, given that it's this satirical piece.
Although there's a couple of obvious stunt double moments, and I actually kind of appreciated those. It felt intentional almost, especially
Yeah.
at the start and during the opening title sequence where he does that spinning thing with the kids. Like he
Mm.
encounters these bunch of kids and he does this spinning thing, and I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Like, why are they impressed? He just spins, but it's clearly a stunt double at one point, and I almost just sort of chuckled and went, "They're going to do that intentionally, probably throughout this, just to."
That's it, because that's part of how it was at the time. It
Yeah,
was obvious, so let's be obvious,
yeah,
which is kind of easy for them in a sense. It's like, well, we don't have to hide it.
yeah. Which is almost funny when you think, because like, I don't think they did, but they could have almost, because the actors who are actually acting out the parts that aren't doing the dialogue, because they don't actually have to talk well. You could have almost just hired a bunch of stunt people to play the roles.
Yeah, yeah, they
You
could have
know,
done.
because that's the thing. I mean, I'm assuming they're talking in Romanian, but realistically, they didn't actually have to be. They could have been uttering complete gibberish
Yeah,
on
yeah, the
set.
rest of us wouldn't know, would we?
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't even hear it. Like, unless you're a lip reader and speak Romanian, you're not going to
Yeah, I,
pick that up.
I, I I do appreciate how over the top some of the acting is. You know, like when when they're in the ambassador's office, like they're sweeping the stuff off the desks and throwing stuff at each other.
Hmm.
It's very over the top and feel like very like delayed reactions almost.
It's good stuff.
It's a lot of fun.
So I'm excited to see where this goes. So the plan is to go one a day. There's a chance we might skip one day at the weekend, depending on how busy things get. But the plan is to more or less go one a day. So we should finish mid next week. But we are going to do the whole thing. I
Yeah.
think we're both on board for the whole ride here. So by all means, let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Otherwise, get us on patreon.com, mailedfuzztv, if you want to support the channel. But otherwise, guys, that is us. So thank you very much for watching. Keep watching TV. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla, Comrade?